Well, welcome to the September 5th public meeting of the Town of Conception Bay South Council. As always, we start with our land acknowledgement. The Town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of the province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. And we'll start with adoption of agendas and minutes. The adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight, moved by Councillor Tilley, seconded by Councillor Moores. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Adoption of the meeting minutes from August 15th. Moved by Councillor Hillier, seconded by Councillor Hardy. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Business arising from previous minutes will be dealt with at this meeting and meetings as we go forward into the future. So tonight, visitors, presentations, and petitions. We do have a few. And we're starting this evening a proclamation for Arthritis Awareness Month, and that's Councillor Christine Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Arthritis Society Canada proclamation. Whereas community support has been critical throughout the Arthritis Society Canada's 75-year history, enabling the organization to fulfill its mission to fight the fire of arthritis with cutting-edge research, bold innovation, fiery advocacy, and evidence-based information and patient-centered support. Whereas arthritis is not just arthritis. Arthritis is serious. It causes debilitating pain, restricts mobility, and diminishes quality of life. 6 million Canadians, 1 in 5, live every day with the fire of arthritis, and there is no cure. Without a greater spotlight on this growing issue, number of Canadians with arthritis will rise to 9 million by 2040. Whereas during Arthritis Awareness Month this September, we seek to raise voices and awareness, and we are encouraging everyone who lives with arthritis and all those who know and love them to fight the fire of arthritis. Whereas the Arthritis Society of Canada is Canada's national charity dedicated to extinguishing arthritis for good. Therefore, the Town of Conception Bay South does hereby proclaim the month of September as Arthritis Awareness Month. Signed as 5th day of September, 2023. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Butler. Next proclamation, Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder Awareness Month, and Councillor Melissa Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Fetal Alcohol Spectrum Disorder, FASD Awareness Month for September 2023. Whereas fetal alcohol spectrum syndrome, FASD, is a diagnostic term used to describe impacts on the brain and body of individuals prenatally exposed to alcohol. FASD is a lifelong disability. Individuals with FASD will experience some degree of challenges in their daily living and need support with motor skills, physical health, learning, memory, attention, communication, emotional regulation, and social skills to reach their full potential. Each individual with FASD is unique and has areas of both strengths and challenges. Whereas FAST NL is a pan-provincial organization that educates, provides support and resources, and raises awareness about fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, FASD, in Newfoundland and Labrador and Atlantic Canada. And whereas FAST NL is leading 3-year FASD prevention, awareness, training, and collaborative action project in the 4 Atlantic provinces. Whereas FASD Awareness Month is devoted to raising awareness of fetal alcohol spectrum syndrome disorder to improve prevention of FASD and diagnosis and support for individuals with FASD, and broad public awareness helps to put FASD the map. And therefore, I, Councillor Melissa Hardy, hereby proclaim the month of September 2023 to be FASD Awareness Month in the Town of Conception Bay South. Signed at Conception Bay South, Newfoundland and Labrador on the 5th of September, 2023.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. And next we have a proclamation for National Forest Week. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. And before I make this proclamation, I know all of us here probably know somebody in impacted by the forest fires that have been happening on the west coast of Canada and the territories. And so just wanted to say our thoughts are with all those individuals impacted and their safety as they continue to navigate all those situations. Proclamation National Forest Week. Canada's forests are a valuable renewable resource that contribute greatly to the livelihoods, health, and culture of our communities, as well as the maintenance of our ecosystems, their wildlife, and resilience in the face of climate change. Therefore, I, Josh Barrett, Councillor at Large in the town of Conception Bay South, declare September 17th to the 23rd, 2023 as National Forest Week in the town of Conception Bay South.
Thank you, Councillor Barrett. And the last proclamation, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And with us this evening, we have some special guests. We have Danielle, Mike, and Alex Little. And I'm going to ask you folks to come on up here and join me now for this proclamation. And most of you will remember this family from their journey through cancer with their son, brother, Caden. Almost 4 years ago now, we followed along, and of course, our hearts still go out to you folks. And of course, what you're doing now, you're with the Candlelighters, and the Candlelighters do some amazing work, and a lot of that work has to do with, of course, supporting families with children who have been diagnosed with cancer. And we thank you for those efforts. And I'm going to do the proclamation now, and then I'm going to ask you to say a few words, if you would. All right, thank you. So whereas there are about 10,000 children living with cancer in Canada today, and whereas each year about 1,600 cases are diagnosed, over 25 of which are children in Newfoundland and Labrador. And whereas in Canada, childhood cancer remains responsible for more deaths from 1 year through adolescence than any other disease. And whereas about 1 in 4 children who are diagnosed with cancer will die of this disease. And whereas because of significant advances in therapy, 78% of children diagnosed with cancer will survive 5 years or more, an increase of almost 46% since the 1960s. And whereas childhood cancers have close to 75% cure rate, with leukemia leading the success charge with close to 90% overall cure rate. Now I, Darren Bent, on behalf of the town of Conception Bay South, do hereby proclaim September 2023 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the town of Conception Bay South. Okay. So Danielle, I'm going to get you to tell us a little bit about Candlelighters and what you're doing.
Sure. Thank you for reading that out, Mayor Bent. So Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, of course, it is deep, something that we is close to our hearts because of our son, Caden Little. That's something that you don't really know until you're pushed into that world with that diagnosis. But Candlelighters Newfoundland Labrador is a great resource and support for families like ours, and to the siblings, to be honest with you. Alexander still partakes in the Candlelighters Camp to Light Camp, and he has supports with friends that he has met there, but also they support just in different activities for those groups of parents who are going through their child being sick. So as you know, we're kind of on the outside of that, but we still provide supports to those families. Sometimes it's hard for them to see us on this side because, you know, we're a story that nobody wants to consider, but we do still provide those supports to those families to help them to realize, you know, what questions to ask during treatment and just to know that there is somebody else who understands what's going on. So thank you very much to the town of CBS and for, you know, making this known as September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you, folks, and thank you for coming in today. And of course, the work of Candlelighters and the help of and you being able to share your stories and give back the comfort I know that you received during your journey
Yes.
is a wonderful thing. It's wonderful for those families. I'm absolutely sure that they're delighted with all that you do and giving them the, I guess, the comfort they need and the time they need it the most. So thank you very much for that. And thank you for coming today.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move along now with new business. And in new business, I'll start with Deputy Mayor Goss. You lead the way.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just a couple of things that I'm going to bring forward to speak to tonight. Just recently, there was the 26th annual provincial awards celebrating youth entrepreneurial excellence. So Youth Venture Newfoundland and Labrador 2023 chose Emma and Katie's Candy Shop for the Outstanding Venture for 17 Years and Under Award. And Emma and Katie live in Ward 2. They're two young girls who started their business last July 2022. They wanted to do something. They wanted to start something up on their own, a little business. They thought first they'd try a lemonade stand. And anyway, after talking with their mom about it, their mom said, well, why don't you try and think outside the box? And anyway, they gave it some thought and they came up with a candy shop. So they do custom items. They've been at all kinds of events around the community. They have a little stand they set up. They were at Sam's Jam this summer. They were at Soiree. I've seen them a number of places. They're on Facebook and they do special occasions. They do things for birthday parties and whatever you're looking for. These two little ones are pretty creative and they do all the work themselves. And they were, like I said, they received the Outstanding Venture Award, Youth Venture Award for 2023. So I just want to say congratulations to them on behalf of the town of Conception Bay South. Another item I have is that next Wednesday, the All Saints Parish is going to be hosting a community luncheon. And that's nothing new for the All Saints Parish. They host community luncheons every Wednesday. And, it's just a luncheon where people come and the ladies of the church cook up a lunch and they take goodwill offerings and people get together and have lunch together and network and just socialize. Well, next Wednesday is a little more special. So on September 13th, they're hosting this and they're hosting in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Town of Conception Bay South. So this luncheon is, they're going to have soup, sandwiches, tea, coffee, and dessert. They'll be accepting a goodwill offering for lunch as they usually do. This one, though, is going to be in support of the CBS Paradise Food Bank. So they're also going to be accepting non-perishable food items. All items will be donated, of course, to the food bank. And they're going to have some live music. And all of their goodwill offerings are going to be, all the proceeds are actually going to be turned over to the food bank as well. So I just want to let everybody know, because it's open to everyone. Well, it's the Foxtrot Anglican Church. It's a community luncheon. So reach out to anyone who's available. It's 12 o'clock lunch at the All Saints Parish Hall. Last thing I just want to mention is tomorrow is back to school day. And there's going to be a lot of traffic increase. Kids are going to be walking to the bus stops or walking to school. Let us all be mindful of our speed, be mindful of the kids that are on the roads, the school buses, and be mindful of the school zones. And let's our kids have a safe and happy school year. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Goss. Councillor Hillier.
Your Worship, just a couple of items. I just sort of reiterate what the Deputy Mayor said about school opening. Obviously, that's going to happen this week. One thing we got to remember is that we revert back to 30 kilometers an hour in school zones for the rest of the year while school is open. So something to keep in mind. Also, from my background, I want to wish all of our teachers a successful year, and that'll be determined as to the degree of student learning, because we measure teacher success based on student success, and I'm sure our schools will have a great year, 2023, 2024. Second item, just want to tip my hat to those people that we have who are doing maintenance of our parks and playgrounds. We got off to a bit of a slow start, but I know the properties that I see around town, the properties where I guess I hang out at times, our staff have done a great job on their second round, and something to be proud of. So congratulations to that group. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Hillier. Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Your Worship. Couple of sport, I didn't want to do the sporting ones. I thought you would probably get to the other people before me. So just a quick mention of them. Two Newfoundland curlers competed in Alberta recently and won the right to compete at the Youth Olympics happening in South Korea. Kaylee Locke, 16-year-old from CBS, and Simon Perry, 17-year-old from Portugal Cove, were the successful curlers, and I congratulate them. As you know, I'm a big curling fan. The boys under 15 NL Selects Fast Pitch team took silver at the Canadian Fast Pitch Nationals held in Prince Albert. We have a number of CBS residents, Camden Hines, Zach Barker, Noah Stokes, Drew Parsons, Hunter Greeley, Charlie Daw, and Hunter was also named All-Star Infielder. So congrats on the silver. Our 50th birthday, that actually the day that we had the birthday celebration wasn't actually the 50th birthday, as some might have thought, or at least I was probably mistaken also, because we thought it was on that day. But I wanted to say that even though the weather was a little under the weather, we had a great day. Yoga, teddy bear picnic, magic, music, you name it. It was a bit of everything for every age. And I know I certainly enjoyed the participation when I was there, along with my teddy bear, sporting my nice CBS swag, which is also available online too. And it's also on the social media pages there for you to have a look at, because it's really cool retro 1973 swag. Lastly, if I may indulge, today is my in-laws' 70th wedding anniversary. So 70 years ago today, they said, I do. And this is a picture of them at their wedding. Beautiful couple. And they are a beautiful couple. Most people in CBS know Geraldine and Clarence. Of course, Geraldine had a hair salon for years and years, and Clarence ran the sawmill at Drew's Lumber. Until 1978, they decided to take the leap and started their own business and started their own sawmill. And you all know, of course, that Clarence Butler and Son has been business in CBS for 45 years. So I just wanted to congratulate them, and looking forward to celebrating this Friday at All Saints. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you, Your Worship.
Well, congratulations to Clarence and Geraldine on 70 years of, I'm sure, wedded bliss for all of it. But yeah, that's a tremendous and it's a great thing. I understand they're having a little community get together on Friday to celebrate with their family and friends. So that's just wonderful. Thank you very much for sharing that picture, especially on our 50th anniversary. They've upped us by 20 years. So anyway, Councillor Tilley.
Thank you, Worship. Councillor Butler, when myself and my wife were married 70 years, can you make that presentation at the council table? Just a touch on Deputy Mayor Goss. Of course, everyone's aware that kids are heading back to school tomorrow. I can't recall if this was brought up at the last public meeting or not, but I'd like to send out I guess kudos to the provincial government who finally decided to take away the 1.6, I guess, busing rule, and now we don't need to worry about kids, I guess, having to walk to school. They're going to avail of the opportunity to get on the bus. And I don't know if schools and CBS are pegged in the first round. I'm not too sure, but round one, perfect. So definitely shout out to the government. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, of course, I know that our local MHAs, they fought hard with the provincial government for that. So kudos to those as well. And as well, of course, guys, you know, extreme caution school zones, but we still do have a lot of construction zones and to go throughout the town. You know, we have a very short window for our construction season and the rate that's going now, it's going to be another little while before we get all of our side works and all of our road work done. And of course, I'm assuming the Council Hardy is probably going to mention there's going to be a shutdown in Peacekeepers Way. So probably I'll leave that to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Tilly. Councillor Connors.
Oh, you're back and forth tonight. I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, what is the pattern you're following tonight?
It's the only entertainment I can muster. So
I just want to mention again, I mentioned at the last council meeting in the round table is the Bright Business Awards for our 50th anniversary. Is the nomination period is open, and hoping that people will nominate the businesses in our community, because there are a lot of businesses that are worthy of being nominated. So the luncheon will be held on October 18th. And nominations will be open until September 26th, and they can either be nominated online or you can drop off a copy here to the town hall. And the other thing that I wanted to mention here now is the trailway closure up in the Seal Cove area. We're starting work on that and the next phase, the phase 4 of the trailway development. So from Doyle's Road in Upper Gullies to the Cemetery Road in Seal Cove will be closed for the coming weeks as the Grand Concourse begins work on upgrading the trailway in that area. So another great improvement to our trailway system, and what it will be closed for the next little while. And that's it for me tonight.
thank you, Councillor Connors. Councillor Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I also want to send out a big, I guess, welcome back to all the students and teachers. I guess lots of changes for students that are going to different schools, et cetera, and to remind everyone to now please slow down in school zones because they are everywhere. Just to, I guess, let everyone know that the Provincial Agri-Food and Garden Show will take over the Conception Bay South Arena from September 25th until October 1st. The annual show runs for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and there will be a petting farm, cooking demonstrations, food samples, and storefronts for vendors to sell agricultural foods, products. There will also be a number of agricultural information booths. It is anticipated that the show will see 5,000 people attend this event. So we're very happy to host this again in CBS and encourage everyone to get out and take a look if they are able to do so. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Morris. Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. Certainly a few things mentioned already this evening, but commendable little entrepreneurs in Ward 2. I availed of their product earlier this summer for my daughter's birthday party. We had the coolest loot bags on the block. So they're doing some great work there on Ward 2. Some great events that some folks have already mentioned this summer, the town's birthday party. I know a lot of folks in this room were there, and I know we really went out. We went. The staff have went above and beyond in terms of planning and organizing that, and certainly our 50th anniversary committee as well. And I want to thank all those folks that have been involved with this. I think we had a lot of diverse things for folks to be a part of, young and old, and I know we had a great turnout as well, as we did on Pirate Day. That was a great event. It was a very beautiful day. Probably the most people I've seen on Topsail Beach in a while, and that's always a fan favorite, and it was great to be there again this year. The last thing I want to mention is that I know I'm speaking of a different level of government here, but a long-time Topsail resident, Sandra Barnes, has officially retired from the provincial government after 45 years of service, and their family is no stranger to our community. They own Berg's Famous Ice Cream and the former village store in Topsail, and I worked for the family back in my youth, which according to Councillor Hillier wasn't too long ago, but I wanted to just shout out to her and all the best in their retirement and their continued involvement in our community. Thanks.
I can hear you, Mayor Bent. Did I just lose me? Okay, sorry. So a couple of things I just want to, I know most of my fellow colleagues have already said about the back to school, but it's so important because you have a lot of kids, new kids going to school. They're going to be so excited. The last thing they're looking at is a crosswalk, looking both ways. So just be extra diligent over the next few days. There's a lot of staggered times for kids going to and from school. So what you think the kids are probably already at school could be the second wave of kids arriving. So just be extra careful and diligent. And the 30-kilometer zone, can't stress that enough. Huge congrats to Seal Cove Grocery and Liquor Express. I'm winning the Platinum Award for the Community Votes of St. John's for convenience stores, general stores, grocery stores, sandwiches, and subs category. So I know a lot of us here have certainly availed of some of their subs and sandwiches, and it's absolutely delicious. So big shout out to Chris and Tom Dwyer, Chris Reynolds. The store is fully packed up there all the time. They do a lot of local stuff, which is really nice. And they actually have a, I don't want to say slush fund, but they have slushies all summer long for the kids free of charge. There's been a lot of businesses going in and buying ahead 50 slushes for the next amount of kids coming in. So they really give back to the community. And I know a lot of kids up in that area have certainly loved it. One other thing, the birthday brash, that was absolutely amazing. Huge shout out to the recreation department. Nick, your team is absolutely one of the best I've ever seen putting off events. It started 8 o'clock in the morning for the yoga. So they fed us breakfast. They fed us lunch. We had an afternoon snack. We had cake. We had popcorn. The list goes on. So I just cannot give enough kudos to Nick, you and your staff. It's such a well-run show. Like, you don't see any hiccups, if there are any, happening throughout the day because everyone is just moving. Our volunteers, I think I've seen Dallas Whittle. She's a friend of the family at every one of these events. God love our volunteers, because I don't think it would be as successful because our town staff can only do so much. It's the stuff that happens behind the scenes as well with our volunteers. So just want to do a big thanks to all the volunteers and the staff for the birthday bash as well. Thank you, Mayor Bent.
Thank you, Councillor Hardy. I didn't miss anyone, did I? No. Okay, good. Just to Josh's, congratulations to Sandra as well. And I missed the village store. I don't know if you do or not, but it was pretty convenient for me. But anyway, I still find Bergs every now and again, I must say. Hey. But anyway, just on a couple of notes, school opening tomorrow, of course, that's the big thing. That's why most people aren't watching us here tonight. Is because they're getting ready for the first big day. And of course, for some of them, it's the first day of school ever. And for the little ones and for the parents, and the parents are the ones probably in a lot of cases are getting their kids to school themselves. So I ask everybody to be extra patient and take a little bit of extra time around school zones tomorrow, because it's going to be a little bit of a slowdown. And of course, Councillor Tilley mentioned the 1.6 kilometers. It only affects one school in our town this year, the rest of them next year. But of course, hopefully that'll cut down on some traffic around schools, more people on buses and less cars lining up to get in parking lots, hopefully. So that's a really good thing. It's a long awaited, and we welcome it. And you mentioned local MHA, Petton, I was to a number of meetings that he held, and others as well in the school community, and petitions and so forth, trying to get that in place. And we're, as a town, we welcome that. Of course, it'll help make things a bit safer, a little less traffic congestion, and moving forward. So and also for the parents who are going for the first time, take your time. It's try to enjoy the process as you get through it the first time, because once you've done it a couple of times, it becomes old hand. But when you're going to a new school for the first time, and some people, they're going to schools in areas of town they don't frequent a whole lot because they're moving from elementary to junior higher to high school. So enjoy the time as best you can. I don't know, I suppose probably being one of the older members around the table, I remember my first day of school. I don't remember my second day, but my mother said that I didn't cry the first day, but I cried. I didn't want to go back the second day. So, anyway, but I kept going after that. Anyhow, they made me. Couple of things. Music NL come out with its nominations over the past week or so, and Mallory Johnson is pretty well cleaned up. Mallory Johnson, of course, from Conception Bay South. I think got 6 nominations. Justin Vancy got, I believe, 1 or 2 for sure. And congratulations to them representing. And one other thing I wanted to mention this evening is, and this is something that a local MHA has brought, they've gotten some notices. I've heard a couple of complaints, and of course, people talk about it a little bit, and that is motorized bicycles. And I know we've spoken about it a bit before, and to me, they sound a little bit like a bicycle with a chainsaw motor attached to them. And I wish they had them when I was young, but or when I was bicycling, of course, but they didn't. And one of the things that people are concerned about is that the noise. And when I was young, we used to put cards in between the spokes to make a tick, 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 tick. Well, this is a little louder than a tick. And it's causing some concerns and agitation for some residents with the noises that are coming from these motorized bicycles. And all I can do is ask everyone to ask their people and themselves, if they have them, to just be mindful of the neighborhoods and the people around when you're going with the bicycles, and try not to make them as loud as possible, and maybe as not as loud as possible, but the opposite. And just be mindful of people, and especially time of day and area where you are as well. If you could, it'd be great. And of course, if you have concerns with these, I understand with bicycles are noted under the Highway Traffic Act. I'm not sure if it's still called that, as motor vehicles, and they have rules which directions they're supposed to travel on the roads, and the same as that. And I'm not sure if there's any rules in there regarding motorized bicycles or not, but if there's not, they're probably working on them, but they should reach out to them for any rules of the road, so that they know that they're doing things in accordance with the rules. And also, we have a noise bylaw in Conception Bay South. So I would think, given the nature of the sound of them, to try to not be using them between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Because they are quite loud. And of course, being a bicycle, they're driven just about anywhere you want to drive them in town. So I ask people to be respectful of their neighbors. Recommendations of Planning and Development Committee Chair, Councillor Hillier.
Thank you, Worship. These are recommendations coming from our August 28th planning meeting. Number 6A, 59 Villanova Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.10.1A and 5.16 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 3155, received on August 1st, 2023, proposing to renovate and extend the existing boathouse to create a new dwelling at 59 Villanova Road, be refused in consideration that the property is within the high hazard vulnerability area and does not front onto a public road as our regulations require. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Tilley, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6B, 553 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 5.10.1A and 5.16 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 3155, I got the wrong one. I'm going through the wrong one again. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again. 553 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 6.7.2 and 10.8 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 3076 received July 14th, 2023 for a home-based business automotive repair located at 553 Conception Bay Highway, be refused in consideration that the regulations explicitly prohibit automotive repair as a home-based business. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Hardy, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Six C, 2.24 Dove Place. Be it so resolved that application number 3177 received on August 14th, 2023 for development of a single dwelling at 46 Dove Place with on-site private well and septic system be approved. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Moores, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6D, 419 Conception Bay Highway. Be it so resolved that application number 3002 received on June 27, 2023 for development of a changeable message sign at 419 Conception Bay Highway be approved on condition that the sign placement and size not interfere with traffic sight lines. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Barrett, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Six E 118 Redbridge Road. Be it so resolved that under the authority of section 23 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the Town Council of Conception Bay South approves Conception Bay South Municipal Amendment number 28, 2023 and Development Regulations Amendment number 47, 2023 as adopted. So moved.
Seconder, Counselor Connors, discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, this is one this is a rezoning that's been ongoing for some time. Last meeting, we brought forward the commissioner's report on the public hearing that was held on this, and basically it's a rezoning from open space recreation to R1 residential. And as I said, it's been ongoing for some time. The major concerns, we've met with any number of people. We've had several public meetings on this, and one major concerns in that area is flooding of the Kelligers River, which is adjacent to this property. And it's interesting that one of the, I guess, the only condition that the commissioner had in her report was that no further development take place on this property until such time as a water hazard study is done of the Kelligers River. It's interesting. We're working our way through doing these hazard studies of various river basins in town. We've done one for Lawrence Pond Road. We're certainly currently working our way through one for Billy Brook in Seal Cove. And the next one on the list will probably be the Kelligers River once funding becomes available to do that. So we're certainly aware of that, and I know the people have been very vocal there up until, you know, my mailbox today. I received a letter from a gentleman on Redbridge Road dealing with and concerned about the water in that area. So we understand that, and we understand where the commissioner is coming from in her report. We're accepting, we're recommending approval of the rezoning, but understand that there has to be some more work done there in terms of water study. So we'll move that. We recommend that. We recommend approval of this recommendation.
Yeah, and that's a reasonable recommendation, given what we know about the area and what residents have seen up there for sure. Any further discussion? Yes, Councillor Tilley.
Yes, Your Worship, I've had a lot of discussions with people in that particular area, and that was one of the, I guess, the sticking points of any future development in around that area is that hazard study be done on the Kelligers River, and I'm pleased to see that it's going to come to fruition pretty soon.
And hopefully some of the work they're going to do on peacekeepers up there will help alleviate some of the troubles as well. We're not sure, but we're hoping that that'll help as well. Any further discussion? Yes, Councillor Barrett.
Yeah, just one quick thing is that, I mean, this has certainly been an active file for a while, and this is just approval for rezoning. I mean, when any development goes in, we're going to need to see some of that information, how they're going to mitigate some of those concerns, right? So certainly in support of moving this or supporting this motion this evening, understanding that when the proponent wants to do any work, then they're going to need to meet the requirements of those permits.
Any further comments? Okay.
I'll have
Yep.
a comment as well, because I've been heavily involved with this, and it's good to see that this is moving forward. The rezoning is moving forward, and I guess just to what my colleague here said is the part about the identifying the water issues there, the flooding issues that are there, because when we had the public consultation meetings, it was loud and clear that the residents had no problem with the rezoning of the parcel of land. It is just that they can't create no more flooding problems, and we need to fix the flooding problems that are there. So I think this is all going to work out for the better of Redbridge Road, people on Redbridge Road.
Yeah, like all developments, you don't want to create a development that exacerbates somewhere else. So good. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6F, Foxtrot Access Road. Be it so resolved that in accordance with Part 9 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town seek approval of the Minister of Municipal and Provincial Affairs to expropriate approximately 5,500 square meters of land on the west side of Foxtrot Access Road, south of Juniper Place, that being a remnant parcel from a Crown grant described at volume 97, folio 23. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Number 6G, delegation of planning authority policy. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adopt the delegation of planning authority policy as presented. And your worship, this is an updated, we've updated the policy. I don't have the exact changes. I mean, basically what we've got is a policy that tells us who can sign off on what type of document for the town, whether it be a fence or a subdivision or something in between. And we've made some changes to that so that we've added signatures to some of the items.
And this policy is basically articulating how we do our business and how we want it done with regards to this and staff parameters. So it's not an actual change of the way we do business. It's a formalization of the way we want to do business with regards to approvals of different applications and so forth.
Basically, we've given different people some more areas in which they can sign off on.
Well, hopefully they'll speed up the process.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is directly related to the planning department. It affects no other departments, right?
Correct.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
6H7 Elliott's Place. Be it so resolved that in accordance with section 16 of the town's fence regulations, application number 2967 received on June 19th, 2023 for a 2.4 meter rear yard fence at 7 Elliott's Place be approved. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And finally, your worship, our committee report. If I can get it up. Be it so resolved that the decisions and recommendations made at the Planning and Development Committee meeting on August 28th, 2023 be accepted as presented, and the topics discussed were listed below.
Seconder, Councillor Moores, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Thank you, your worship. That's it
Thank
for
you,
me.
Councillor Hillier. Next up is recommendations of the Engineering and Public Works Committee. Chair is Councillor Hardy.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. A quick one here this evening. 7A, approval to tender winter control services. Be it so resolved that approval be given to call tender for 2023-2024 winter control services. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion?
It's just our standard operating so that we have standby staff and fees already put in place before our season starts.
In 7 or 8 months from now, maybe, right?
Please, God, with any luck.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
7B. Be it so resolved that the recommendation and decisions of the Engineering and Public Works Committee held on August 30th be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion?
I guess one quick one that I think a lot of people probably would have noticed by now is the Minerals Road. That's at a very good stage right now. We already have the base layer completed. A lot of folks would have seen at the bottom part coming towards the town hall here. We actually have a built-in speed bump to help with some of the traffic calming. And we're hoping the speed radars and stuff that'll be coming now shortly. So certainly appreciate everyone's patience because I know it's certainly been a trying several weeks, but we're certainly light at the end of the tunnel and we'll be able to get ready for the school season to start with extra traffic. So that's it for that one. So moved.
Yes, thank you. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Hillier, any further discussion?
Yeah, I just want to jump in on one point. If you don't see that crosswalk, the elevated crosswalk, you'll certainly feel it. Your car will.
So on that note, I've been told by engineering a number of times that if you are going the speed limit, you will not hurt your vehicle. But if you are going more than the speed limit, you're on your own when you land. Any other comments? What's that? It does depend on the vehicle. Yeah, my vehicle may not make it. We'll see. But it's good to have it done. It's good to see the sidewalks up there, and it's a nice smooth ride up Minerals Road to Peacekeepers now for sure. Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Hardy. Recommendations of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. Chair is Councillor Shelley Moores.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. I just want to mention, which some councillors already have, about the 50th anniversary party. I planned to talk about now, but of course everyone bet me to it, but that's okay. I just want to give another shout out to the rec department on a fantastic job. You know, there was something to do from first thing in the morning till the end of the day with fireworks. So it was a great day. It was great to see so many people out and about. And again, the work that our recreation department does is fantastic, and a big kudos to them for another great job. At the 50th anniversary, you would have seen a lot of people, well, especially the councillors, in our 50th anniversary clothing. So I also just want to send out, let everyone know that that's available now. You can check it all out on our website. There's something for everyone, I guarantee you. And it looks great. You can go with the retro or you can go with the athletic style. So it's great options, and just to show your community support for the 50th anniversary. We just have a blanket recommendation for Recreation and Leisure Services Committee. Be it so resolved that the recommendations and decisions of the Recreation and Leisure Services Committee meeting of August 29th, 2023 be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Connors, discussion.
I just want to point out that we do have, obviously in the Recreation Department, there's a lot of things now starting back up again for the fall. So just be sure to check out our website so you don't miss out on any of the fun events.
And looking through the minutes, I see you guys are considering a trunk or treat event, and I've been a part of a few of those in the past. They're always fun. So I think it's great to get that on the go for here.
Lots of fun stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of great stuff there in the report. There's a talk of glow walks and trunk or treats and so forth. And just on I'm going to pile on with regards to the recreation staff now. They've done a fantastic job on, especially during the weekends in the summer, with the 50th anniversary things that we've done, and the new projects, and sort of up in the ante on some of the older projects too, and making them renewed. But at the same time, that most people don't see is that they're going around maintaining all the sports fields and getting the playgrounds ready so people can do that as well. So there's lots of recreation things happening aside from the 50th anniversary stuff that we're doing, and the recreation staff are from one end of town to the other doing a great job, and we commend them and thank the director and pass that on to your staff as well, please. Any other comments? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
All right,
Thank you. Recommendations of financial and administrative services, Deputy Mayor Andrea Goss.
Thank you, Your Worship. So the recommendations of the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting on August 28th. First item 9A is the 2023-2026 multi-year capital works funding project. Be it so resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Conception Bay South, accept cost share funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Multi-Year Capital Works for 2023 to 2026 funding approval letter dated July 6, 2023. The town will enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure to complete projects in Schedule A with a maximum provincial cost share portion of $5,582,448. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion.
Oh, that is our list of, that's our funding projects that we're going to be working on over the next few years. It's a list that was approved by transportation infrastructure. And it's going to be a combination of water and sewer, roads work. There's a bridge in there. So stay tuned. Lots of work upcoming in the next couple of years.
Yeah, and these projects usually come out every 3 years, basically. That's the way it's been for the last while. And of course, this is the first one that's come out for this council. And we're happy to see it. And of course, you've noted that the $5.58 million is the provincial share. We top that up on some of those projects because some of them are 70-30, some of them are 60-40. And so the residents are going to get around $8 to $9 million
Yes.
in work done.
It's close on $10 million worth of work.
Yeah.
Some of them are 30-cent dollars, some of them are 40-cent dollars.
Right.
So
So we're going to be
it's a
able to
good
do.
bang for your buck.
Yeah, and we're gonna be able to do a bunch of stuff. And so
Yeah.
this will keep us going in that work next year and year after. And it's great to see it. And I'm pleased that it came in a timely manner. So we can continue with the work that we're doing seamlessly starting next year again. So any other comments? All in favor? We'll take the free money. Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you.
9B, donation for DARE. Be it so resolved that approval be given for a $2,500 donation to the DARE program offered by the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. Funds available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Butler, discussion.
This is a donation to DARE, the DARE program that's facilitated by the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. And for anyone who's doesn't know what the DARE program is, it's the Drug Abuse Resistance Education Program. So the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary go into the schools and do education programs with students on drug abuse and all the things related to drug abuse and just educating kids on it. And we hear about drug situations every day now in the news, and it's more and more. So it's certainly a worthwhile program, and we saw value in continuing to support the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary in this.
Yeah, and it's great they come right into the schools here in Conception Bay South and work with the
Exactly, yeah.
students. And been to a few of those ceremonies, and they're quite remarkable. And the connection that the young people make with the RNC officer that delivers the program is one that I think gives a positive image going forward. And I think it has a great impact, and happy to be able to contribute to continuing that program here in Conception Bay South. Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9C, donation to the CBS Paradise Food Bank. Be it so resolved that approval will be given for a $1,000 donation to the CBS Paradise Food Bank. Funds are available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Barrett, discussion.
This is an annual donation that we like to do to our community food bank. And as we all know, our food banks they're being well used during these times, and need has never been greater. So this is just a donation to help support them as they try to continue to serve the residents in the community.
Any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
9D, personnel, fire captain. Be it so resolved that approval be given to appoint Sean Lawler to the position of fire captain on a temporary basis per the terms and conditions of the employment contract. So moved.
Seconder. Councillor Morris, discussion.
This is just to fill a position for someone who's temporarily off, and we know how important our fire department is, and when someone's away, that makes it a little bit more challenging for the department. So hopefully this will help them out.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item 9E, accounts payable checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay accounts payable checks totaling $508,824.04 as per the attached report. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Morris, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
Next item 9F, manual checks. Be it so resolved that approval be given to ratify manual checks totaling $27,392.30. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Tilly, discussion. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
9G, capital invoice approval. Be it so resolved that approval be given to pay capital invoices totaling $850,096.92 as per the attached report.
Seconder. Counselor Hardy, discussion.
As anyone looking at the report, you can see that these are progress claims for a Minerals Road project, steady Waterbrook culvert upgrade, the 2022 water and sewer upgrades, Trailway Phase 4, and 4 light duty vehicles that we have purchased. And these vehicles, as everyone knows, vehicles were hard to get over the last few years, and some of the vehicles that would have been replaced a few years ago, we're only getting to do that now. So we've got 4 new vehicles coming.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. I'm sorry, Deputy Mayor, I wasn't sure if we'd gone past the seconding of that.
I thought we did. 9H, tax and other receivable adjustments. Be it so resolved that approval be given to adjust tax and other receivable accounts as follows. And there's 4 accounts that staff made recommendations there for adjustments. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Barrett, discussion. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
9I is a donation request, MNL conference. Be it so resolved that approval be given for a $5,000 sponsorship for an Avalon Eastern Night at the upcoming MNL conference to be held on October 25th to 28th in St. John's. Funds are available in account as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Morris, discussion.
The annual MNL conference is going to be in St. John's in this fall. It goes from back and forth, I think, between St. John's, Gander, Grand Falls. So it's coming to St. John's this fall, and they've asked for a sponsorship for an Avalon Eastern Night. It's pretty standard that when it's in St. John's that we do this sponsorship.
All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
And last item 9J, be it so resolved that recommendations made at the Financial and Administrative Services Committee meeting of August the 28th be accepted as presented. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Connors, discussion.
That's just our department report. So before I finish, I just want to make mention that we are starting budget consultations. It's that time again, that time of the year. And we expect to have an online budget consultation tool available to residents by mid-month. So keep your eye out for it, and please, and get engaged and fill out the budget tool, the budget consultation tool. So have your voice heard so that we can see what our residents have highest on their list of priorities.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you,
And-
Deputy Mayor.
That's it. Thank you.
Recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee Chair, Counselor Connors.
Thank you, Your Worship. These are the recommendations of the Economic Development and Tourism Committee from the meeting on August 9th. 10A, Community Transportation Funding Program. Be it so resolved that approval be given to enter into a contribution agreement with the Department of Children, Seniors and Social Development's Community Transportation Program for a grant totaling $37,000 to support the development of a community transportation implementation plan. So moved.
Seconder. Counselor Hillier, discussion.
So as a council, we've been looking at different ways where we can introduce a transportation system here into our town. So this grant will assist us in the evaluation of an accessible and inclusive community transportation service designed to meet the needs of residents, with the goal of developing a transit implementation plan that will outline the most effective and efficient model for the town. So it's a work in progress, and this money will help us be able to move forward with it.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we're lacking in right now. It's just trying to find the right way forward with what we can afford and what our residents need. So doing this investigation with this money is extremely important, and hopefully it'll guide the way forward to see where we can go with this. Yeah, anybody else have anything? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.
Before I read the blanket recommendation, I just want to take a minute to talk about Savor CBS, our Exploring Our Food, Culture and Adventure Festival that is planned for October 1st to the 9th, which is right on the heels of our Agricultural Expo, which will be happening the weekend before, and then we'll go right into our Savor CBS Festival. We are savoring everything that makes Conception Bay South special, our unique communities, beautiful trails, and local businesses. Savor CBS is a fall food and culture festival that aims to highlight local farms and food producers, musicians, artists, cultural heritage, and all the adventure here in CBS. Our goal is to encourage residents and those from near and far to support local this fall. The festival will act as a tourism season extension by providing residents and visitors with engaging activities and events. We're hoping to have activities throughout the whole town, from one end of the town to the other end of the town. We want to see multiple events and promotions hosted throughout the community by local businesses, community groups, and of course, we'll be hosting some of our own, the town of Conception Bay South. So far, some of the festival highlights that are there. Ocean Quest are going to do multiple adventures, which people will be invited to participate in. There's a mini mindfulness retreat with Joy Fit and Concept Nutrition. Trivia night down at 9 Penny. That's always a crowd pleaser and always someone up for a challenge. Numerous events at Mangles River, including the Chefs for Trails. And a handful of town-led events, including the Walk for Wellness. We're going to celebrate the 1 million trail count that was canceled earlier the year, and an open air market. So more events will be added to the calendar each day. Stay tuned to our social media for updates, and information will be available at the town website. So if any business wants to be involved, please reach out to staff at the town hall. So the blanket recommendation is, be it so resolved that the recommendation decisions made at the Economic Development and Tourism Committee meeting of August 29th, 2023 be accepted as presented. List of discussion topics is attached. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? We do. Councillor Butler. Any further discussion? I hope that the trivia questions get easier as the night goes on. Councillor Connors down at 9 Penny, but
well, people always get smarter as the night goes on. When as certain liquids go down, people get much smarter. So I'm sure the trivia questions will get easier.
More confident, maybe.
Yes,
they certainly do. Yeah, absolutely. And it's and the thinking of all that is it's great. You know, we drive from one end of town to the other, and you see the people that have farmers tables out, and the farm, and butlers, and all the folks around here that have them out. And every time I drive by and see the fresh carrots out there, you can almost taste them, right? You know, because they're so bright orange, and it's great to see that sort of thing for sure. So it's been nice taking part in that, and I'm sure Savor CBS will be a great time to highlight some of that and some of the things that we locally make from these these ingredients grown here. So look forward to that. Any further discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you. And finally, other committee reports. Does anybody have anything they want to report from any of the other committees they have been sitting on? I know that the end of August and is not very active with them, but starts up again now in September, and I'm sure we'll hear some more stuff as the month goes on and so forth. But anybody? No takers? Okay. So we'll be back here again for the next public council meeting on September the 19th. So in the meantime, stay safe and reminder, safety in school zones as we go forward, and have a good night. Motion for adjournment, I guess, is appropriate at this time, isn't it? Councilor Tilley. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried.